Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about my Christmas book recommendations. I've been wanting to do this video for a really long time because I feel like I have so many books that I could recommend. I've excluded some, so I had to narrow it down because there are just so many. Let me actually just count here real fast. Okay, so I've got a couple categories first, actually. So I've got books that I have not read, but I've read books from these authors, so I can recommend them because I know that they are closed door, and I've liked books from these authors before, so I feel like I can recommend them with good spirits. And then I have books that I have read, and then I have arcs that I'm currently reading, and books that are coming out within the next week or two that you should be anticipating. The first section here is the books that I have not read. And I've got 19 books. And I have done the grunt work and looked up all of the tropes for every single one of these books because I don't want to read all of their summaries, but I feel like giving people the tropes kind of gives you a background on how these books are going to go. And I actually would rather have tropes than reading the synopsis because I feel like the synopsis kind of gives away everything. But I obviously don't share ever like secret tropes. So if like somebody, for say, gets married or something in the end of the book, or towards the end, like not the very end, that's usually typical for these kinds of romances where they always get married in the end, but like a surprise marriage, like I never will share that in my tropes when I'm recommending books. So these are tropes that just give you a feel, but don't necessarily ruin things. So if you don't want to know the tropes, then this video is probably not for you, but I hope you still enjoy getting these book recommendations. So if you just want to skip over the times that I share the tropes, just find the pictures of each book that I share, or you can read my description. Either way, you do you. But this is how I'm going to do this video. I'm going to read off my books here and then all of their tropes. So again, this category, books that I have not read, but I've read books from these authors. So firstly, I've got here is Juliana Smith and her book Baggage Claim. And then I'm actually reading Snowed Under right now, which is the second book in this series. It's called Aspen Peaks. It takes place in Colorado. Snowed Under will be out November 22nd, I think, so this week. So I actually recommend it so far. I'm not finished yet, but it's really cute, and I'm enjoying it. But Baggage Claim, Fake Dating, He Falls First, Forced Proximity, Family Drama, She Is a Terrible Family. She asks him to be her boyfriend so that her family leaves her alone. You know, the typical holiday romance. Snowed Under is also fake dating. A single aunt, she has custody over 2 children. Strangers to friends to lovers, that's a really fun trope. And then, of course, dual point of view, so you get both of their point of views in this book. Most of these are dual point of view, but there are a small few that do not. So, and let me just point out real quick that most of these books, it's just a holiday thing. Fake dating is like a trope for almost every single one of these books, but I particularly enjoy fake dating because it brings out their feelings for each other, their real feelings, not the fake ones, and so I find it really enjoyable. So if you don't enjoy fake dating, I don't think most of these books will be for you. Okay, then I've got a couple of books by Courtney Walsh. She's also a fantastic closed-door author. These are all closed-door. Obviously, that's what my channel is all about, and those are the only books I will ever recommend. But Courtney Walsh is a really great one. She never has language. They're usually pretty lighthearted. She doesn't ever have any strong, sad content. Nobody ever dies, so her books are just genuinely just really happy books, and I enjoy that, so she's a favorite of mine. So she's got 3 holiday romances, actually. She's got A Cross Country Christmas, which is part of a series that I'm forgetting the name of right now. But that one, its tropes are childhood crush, reverse grumpy sunshine, so that means she is the grump and he is not. Forced proximity, enemies to lovers, they go on a trip together. It sounds really cute and I enjoy her books, so the thing that I'm struggling with is that I've wanted to read most of these books for a long time. I just haven't gotten my hands on them because they are independently published and they don't always get in circulation in my library. There are a few, but not all. And so it's frustrating, and I hope to one day be able to read all these books because they all just look super cute and I love these authors. Then we've got Merry Xmas by Courtney Walsh. This one is childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance, Enemies to Lovers, and Forced Proximity. And then we've got her most recent release. This one came out a couple weeks ago, I think, called Christmas with a Crank. I actually forgot to look up the tropes for this one, but I think he is grumpy and she's sunshine and she tries to get him to like Christmas. I think that's how this goes, but I'm not totally sure, so don't quote me on that. But I love her books, so I think I will enjoy that one, no matter what the tropes are. Then we've got Cabin Mate by Leah Brunner. I have my phone down here because I had to write all these tropes down because, I mean, obviously I can't remember all of them. Cabin Mate by Leah Brunner. It is part of the Under Kansas Sky series. I think it's a shorter book. It might be a novella. Maybe not though. But it's best friends to lovers, fake dating, one bed. They go on a trip to her parents' place and they fake date. So they have to stay in the same room together, but obviously it's closed door, so you're fine. And then we've got Season Schemings by Katie Bailey. And this is part of the Cyclones Christmas series. This is book 1. And then book 2 is not out yet. I think it comes out this week, November 22nd. There are quite a few holiday books coming out November 22nd, and that is one of them. So yeah, Season Schemings is actually a marriage of convenience that I've been wanting to read since it came out last year. So I really want to get my hands on that one. And it's a hockey romance. So yeah, the Cyclones is a hockey team, and the 2 main guys for both of these books are teammates. And then Holiday Hostilities is also part of the Cyclones Christmas, and this one comes out this week. Enemies to Lovers, He Falls First, and Brother's Best Friend. We love it. We love it. And I love Katie Bailey's books. They are closed door, but they have a little bit of innuendo in them and a little bit of language. So just a heads up there if you aren't comfortable with language. It's no F words. Like I don't think any of these authors ever use super strong language like that. Then we've got The Holiday Stand-In by Courtney Keisel. And this one, I don't know if I would love this one, but I heard that the way this book is written, it was written really well with this particular trope. It's a love triangle and it's fake dating. So there's she falls for the wrong right brother is what the author puts in her Goodreads description of this book. So I don't know how that love triangle goes. I don't think there's cheating involved, but I'm not sure. So just a heads up on that. And then she has another Christmas romance that came out last week or 2 weeks ago called One Foggy Christmas. And I want to read this one so bad. It looks so good. It's amnesia, win back your spouse. So they are married. She gets in an accident and she does not remember that they are married. And so he basically has to win her back and make her fall in love again with him. And it's enduring love. I think it's a much deeper story than her regular books, because her books are usually fun and lighthearted and just goofy. But this one I think is a lot more mellow and sad. Obviously, she does not remember marrying this man and that she's in love with him. So obviously it's going to be a little bit deeper. So yeah, I want to read that one really, really badly. And then we've got a couple books by Genny Carrick. And first one here is Stay This Christmas. It is part of the Magnolia Ridge series. It has second chance romance. He's kind of a grinchy guy. He hates Christmas, and so she tries to get him to love Christmas. And then we've got Mad About Yule by Genny Carrick again, and this one is part of the Love in Sunshine series. And let me just a little bit of background here. So most of these books are part of series, but none of them need to be read in order. They all have their own standalone romance. So if you read some of these books and you think you're missing out on other things, you could be with friends that show up in these books, but obviously I don't think you'll be missing out on anything necessarily, but they can be read as standalones. Almost all of these books that I'll mention are part of series, but can be read as standalones. So Mad About Yule, its tropes are rivals to lovers and enemies to lovers. So they work together, all that good stuff. Then we've got Sleigh Bells Ring by RaeAnne Thayne. And she has a ton of holiday books, but this one had been recommended to me by multiple Christian booktubers. And I heard it's just really well done. It's a boss employee, a ranch setting. So she's the ranch manager and he is the owner of the ranch. And he comes home and finds that she's staying in the house with her niece and nephew. And he's like, what the heck? And so he lets them stay. But anyway, it sounds really cute. It sounds like a very heartwarming Christmas read. RaeAnne Thayne's books are all pretty heartwarming. So then we've got Christmas in Paradise by Brittany Larsen. And I think this one is a novella. I think this one is shorter. It's part of the Love in Paradise Valley series. So it's He Falls First, Meddling Townspeople. We do like a book with meddling townspeople. They make a story really fun. And A Holiday Fling. You don't get to see that often in closed door books, but it is closed door. So, and then we've got a couple of books by Melanie Jacobson. We've got, and these two are actually part of the same series. It's called the Creekville Kisses series. So we've got this first one here, Scrooge and the Girls Next Door. And then, so this one is Grumpy Sunshine, Neighbors, Single Mom. He's the Grinch, so she tries to get him to get into the holiday spirit with her daughter. And then we've got Kiss the Girl. This one is Friends to Lovers, again, meddling townspeople. That is also often a Christmas trope, especially in like Hallmark films. And fake dating. Then we've got Smitten with Candy Canes by Ellen Jacobson. And I actually have not read anything by her, so I can't really attest to if her books are good or not, but they are closed door. So this book is part of the Smitten with Travel series. So every single one of the books in the series takes place in a different country. And this one takes place in Finland. And it's fake dating, enemies to lovers, workplace romance. They're forced to work together. All the good stuff. Yeah, all of these tropes, I feel like I'm saying the exact same tropes over and over and over again, but that's just like your typical holiday romance, you know? Fake dating, forced proximity. But that's what makes all of these super fun. And then we've got A Not So Holiday Paradise by Gracie Ruth Mitchell. And this book is part of the Christmas Escape series. It is a multi-author series, and I've actually read 4 out of the 6. And I've loved the 4 that I have read. Or liked, at least. And I love Gracie Ruth Mitchell. So I hope that I enjoyed this book, because I would like to pick it up this season. This one has Forced Proximity, Brother's Best Friend, and Grumpy Sunshine. Again, Grumpy Sunshine is also another trope that is said often in a holiday romance, and it's usually the girl trying to get the guy to fall in love with Christmas again. You know, the typical Hallmark stuff, you know. Speaking of Hallmark, at the end of this video, I want to recommend one of the best Hallmark movies I have ever seen. And that is saying something, because some Hallmark movies I just am like, wow, I have to turn this off because it's just so bad. Anyway, back to books though. Then we've got Christmas Baggage by Deborah M. Hathaway. This is also part of the Christmas Escape series, the multi-author series, and these are the 2 that I have not read and that I hope to read. So this one's Forced Proximity, Grumpy Sunshine, Enemies to Lovers. Grumpy Sunshine, Enemies to Lovers usually is also 2 tropes that work well together in these books, I think. Then we've got The Heart of Christmas, and this is part of the Dating and Denver Dragons series. It's a hockey romance, forced proximity, second chance. They were high school sweethearts. Super cute. On the front cover she actually released a new cover, and I like the new cover actually. He looks like he's been injured. I think she's an athletic trainer probably. Don't quote me on that, I'm not totally sure, but this is by Letitia Sexton, by the way, I did not say that. It is a Christian romance, so there's elements of faith in it. So yeah, those are all of the books that I have not read that I hope to read this holiday season, but I probably won't get to them all. At least get to them in the next year or 2. But I hope you guys will be able to read some of them. They all sound so cute, and their covers are adorable, and I just like these fun holiday romances, if you can't tell. Okay, now books that I've read. I've got 20 books that I have read. These books, some of them are from last year and some of them are from this year. So firstly, we've got here is Christmas Like This by Karina Taylor. This is part of the A Love Like This series. It's a workplace romance, rivals to lovers, he falls first. So basically, I can kind of get into the plot of the books that I have read. Basically, these 2 workers, they are tasked to put together oh my gosh, I am so struggling. They are tasked to put together the holiday Christmas party at their work. And they have to work together because they do not work well at work. And so their boss is like, hey, you guys have to work together on this and you have to have a good time or you're fired. So it's cute. It's a novella. It's super short. I read it in like a day last year. And I love Karina Taylor, so. Then we've got The Holiduel by Haley Gardner. And this is part of the Falling for Franklin series. This one's also a novella, super cute, super quick. It's like a bakery. These 2 bakers, I think it's a second chance romance. I didn't write that down, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's forced proximity, and they basically are rival bakers. So she has her own bakery, and he comes back to town, and he needs a place to bake, and so he works in her building. and they bake together, and it's just really sweet. It's like a big chocolate chip cookie is how I put it in my review that I did last year. It's really cute. I love Haley Gardner. She is awesome. Then we've got a fantasy romance, actually, Spectacular. I just read this one a couple of last week. I think I finished it last week. It was really cute. I gave it 4 stars. I love the Caraval series though, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but this one was super fun. It's about some of the characters from the Caraval series, obviously, but only 2 of them. So it's about Donatella and Legend. And it was just really sweet and fun. And if I would highly recommend listening to the audiobook, but also reading the book, because there are awesome illustrations throughout the whole entire thing. And the audiobook is super immersive. There's like sound effects, so it feels like you're like in the story with them. And I enjoyed it a lot. That's like my most favorite audiobook that I have ever listened to. I highly recommend you read it the way that I did. Then we've got Holiday Tides by Lara Langa. I gave this one 4.25 stars, I think. I read this one just recently. It is out now, so you can go and read that. Basically, it's also a novella. It's quite short, but it's not like the shortest novella ever. It's still over 150 pages, I'm pretty sure. But basically, they're former rivals from high school, like academic rivals. She comes back to their small town and she realizes that he is like a construction worker, and she's like, what the heck, I thought you went to law school, whatever, at Yale, and he's a construction worker. And so across the street from her home that she inherited from her grandmother, and so he's working on this house and they just spend a lot of time together, and it's really cute. I enjoyed it a lot. These characters were super sweet, and there's no third act breakup. He falls first. It's just a really sweet holiday romance. I very much enjoyed it. Then we've got One Little Chance by Rebecca Jo Jackson, and I gave this one also 4.25 stars. This one was really sweet. Also a novella. I feel like when authors put out books this time of year, they're usually shorter. But I enjoy that I can get through a ton because I love reading these sweet holiday romances, and this was no exception. This one was really cute. It's a second chance romance, no third act breakup. We like seeing that. I hate the conflict, the unnecessary conflict that results in a third act breakup, but this one did not have it, and I was really happy about that. They were childhood sweethearts, but obviously that didn't work out. They're so cute. This one was so sweet, and just all the things that happened that they did together, all of that stuff, it was just such a cute book, and I loved how they came back together, even after all of the things that they had gone through. They had gone through some pretty tough stuff. Not together, but separately with other people, and it was so cute. I love Rebecca Jo Jackson. She's the sweetest author ever. I highly recommend this one. Then I read Let's Not and Sleigh We Did. I gave this one 3 stars, I think, 2.5, 3 stars. I did not enjoy it. I think I talked about this in my last video, my October wrap-up. It was supposed to be a marriage of convenience, and it was not. It was basically a fake marriage of convenience. So they faked that they got married, and they spend the holiday together in his grandmother's house that he inherited, and it's also a novella, so it is short, but I just did not like it. But you might, so that's why I'm putting some of these books in here, because you might enjoy them. They're all closed door, so it just wasn't for me specifically, so I can't really not include books that I don't like, because you may, so that's why I include books that weren't necessarily my favorite. Then we've got Mistletoe Season. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It's a multi-author book that they all put together, 3 little novellas. I enjoyed them as a whole, but there was obviously one in there that I did not love, that I skimmed, but Pepper Basham's book was my all-time favorite. That one was really sweet. So if you pick this up, I would highly recommend Pepper's part of the story. The other 2, the first one was fine. The last one I did not like. I skipped most of it, skimmed through it basically. So, but if you want to read Pepper's story, I highly recommend you read this one because it was just really sweet. Okay, then we've got Faking Christmas by Cindy Steele, and this is also a part of the Christmas Escape series, that multi-author series I recommended. This one's fun. It's fake dating. They work together. They're both teachers, and she needs a fake boyfriend because she found out that her parents invited her ex-boyfriend to their Christmas. And she's like, yeah, heck no, so I need a boyfriend. So she takes this guy with her and they fake date. It's a workplace romance because they are teachers and they work together. So yeah, enemies to lovers. She doesn't love him. She doesn't like him very much, but he likes her, so that's cute. Then we've got Host for the Holidays by Martha Keyes, and this one is actually probably my favorite from the series. It was just really cute. It's like strangers to friends to lovers. It's kind of a forbidden romance because I think she has a boyfriend, but yeah, anyway, so she stays at this guy's Airbnb and he's French. So this one takes place in France and it's super sweet. Like these two characters are so cute together and they're just like friends for most of it, obviously, because she has a boyfriend at home and he respects that and it's really cute. I enjoyed it. Then a Newport Christmas by, oh my gosh, Jess Heileman or Helaman. I don't know how to say her last name. This one was really cute too, part of the Christmas Escape series. Obviously, these covers all look very similar if you are paying attention to that. This one, I read this one last year, so I do not remember it, but I can say the tropes here real fast. Fake dating, forced proximity. I'm pretty sure somebody's getting married, so they are part of the wedding party. It was really cute. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. So I think I've given most of the Christmas Escape series 4 stars, so I would highly recommend just the series as a whole. And then we've got Later On We'll Conspire, which again is a part of the Christmas Escape series by Courtney Keisel. Is it? Yeah, this one's Courtney Keisel. I actually read this one this year. I got the audiobook arc for this, so I listened to it. It was good. I gave it 4 stars, I think. It's like a secret agent. It's definitely not a typical holiday romance. It's not Hallmark cheese or anything like that. There's definitely more to it. Yeah, he's a secret agent. He flies to Washington, I think is where she's from. So he follows her to Washington because he plants something on her and she like leaves and he's like, oh my goodness, I need that back. And so he follows her and they have like a holiday fling, whatever. And it was fun. It was just, it's just way more than a Christmas romance. You know, it's got action, adventure, all that stuff. So I enjoyed it. It was 4 stars. There were obviously some things in it that were a little bit distasteful that I didn't think that were necessary in this book, and I was like, oh, that was weird, but whatever. It was still cute and I would recommend it. Then we've got The Christmas Tree Farm by Melanie Carlson, and this is one that I didn't enjoy, but I would still recommend to my closed door readers, obviously. It's a second chance romance, single dad. They're on a Christmas tree farm. She's trying to revive this Christmas tree farm that her family has left, and they had like a fire a few years ago that burned down half of like their hometown. I think it's in Oregon. And so she comes back because she's been abroad for like a few years, and she comes back to try to revive the Christmas tree farm. It was just really boring. I didn't enjoy it that much. It was 3 stars, I think. But I think some people could still enjoy it. If they like Melody Carlson's writing, they would probably enjoy this one. I just didn't love her writing style. It just wasn't for me, but you could still like it. It was still a cute holiday romance that I can recommend. Then we've got The Mistletoe Countess by Pepper Basham, and I love this one. I read this one last year. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. It's a marriage of convenience, and it's a Christian romance actually as well, and it's a historical romance. So she is American, and the guy she marries is British. He's from England, and they travel back to England together, and they're married, and they have the cutest romance. They basically become friends before anything else. So they're friends and to lovers. So really sweet romance. I enjoyed it a lot. It's actually part of a series about these two. So it's about Frederick. His name is Frederick. Grace, I think is her name. Frederick and Grace. They have a 3-book series. So really a lot of fun. I have not read the other 2 books, but this one was cute. And I recommended it to my mom this past year, and she loved it as well. So if that doesn't say anything, I think it's really cute, and I enjoyed it. I don't usually enjoy historical romances, but this one was fun. I feel like I'm talking so dang fast. I should slow down, but this video I feel like is going to be so long. Okay, and then we've got another historical romance here. A Holiday by Gaslight by Mimi Matthews. This one is like a courtship of convenience. So basically, I read this one last year. Basically, she doesn't want to date him anymore. They were actually courting. And she's like, oops, I don't like you. You're really stuffy and boring and you don't talk to me. So she like dumps him, obviously respectfully because it's historical romance, but she dumps him and then she realizes, oh wait, we probably should date. I don't remember why they date again or they court again, but I thought it was really funny. Really cute. And he's like the sweetest guy ever. So you just feel bad that she like dumps him because he doesn't talk much, but there's reasons for that. So really cute. I would recommend that one. And I think it is a novella, so it is short. Ugh, y'all, I was going to edit my video again And this happened to my last video too, where all of a sudden my footage just disappears. Like my last half of my video just disappeared. So the last book that was on my previous footage was The Holiday by Gaslight. So I already talked about that one. So I'm gonna start all over. Okay. I've already talked about all these books. I read also You Make It Feel Like Christmas by Tony Shiloh. This one I gave 2.5 stars to last year. I did not like it. It was not for me. Mostly because of the insta-love and the background of the story. Basically, the main girl, her sister is getting married to her ex-boyfriend on Christmas Eve. And so, like, she has to come back for the holiday and watch her sister get married to her ex-boyfriend. And it was just really weird. And she falls in love with her other brother's best friend, and it's just really strange. I just did not like the whole background of the story. But there were a ton of Christian booktubers who recommended this book and love Tony Shiloh. So if you like Tony Shiloh, give this one a chance, but it just wasn't my favorite, and I don't love Tony Shiloh's writing, so I don't think I'll pick up any more of her books, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. You may like it, so that's why it's in this video. Then we've got My Xmas Emergency by Jennifer Peel. I gave this one 3.5 stars last year. It was okay. It just... Let me give you the tropes here. It's a second chance romance. There's a meddling niece. Somehow they are both an aunt and uncle to this niece. So I think her brother married the guy's sister. I think that's how it is. So they both have the exact same niece. But if you do read this one, I highly recommend that you do not listen to the audiobook, because it was the worst audiobook I've ever listened to. It was just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just awful. It was super not good. Like the male narrator just had... I just didn't like his voice. I did not like it. And when he imitates like the woman in his part, it just was not, he did not do a good job. It was not good. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, go ahead and listen to it. And if you like it, that's good on you. Good on you. That was not for me. So if you want to feel my same pain, go ahead and listen to it, but I highly recommend that you don't. So there's that. Then we've got The Holiday Mix-Up by Jenny Baird, and this one is basically While You Were Sleeping, but with like Latino and Latina characters. So there's that. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was fine, but like it's While You Were Sleeping. Except the only plot difference is the brother that she actually loves, in the beginning, he asks her to be his fake girlfriend and then he gets in his accident, whatever. So she's his girlfriend, even though they're really not together. So she obviously falls in love with the other brother. If you've ever seen While You Were Sleeping, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the same story. It's the exact same story. So if you want to read a book like While You Were Sleeping, this one would be for you. But it wasn't for me because I love While You Were Sleeping and there's nothing that can top it. So. Then we've got The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. And this author, I don't think is usually a closed-door author, but this one was closed-door and it was clean, so like I'm recommending it, but I don't think her other books are in this same caliber. But basically it's these two twin girls, these sisters that switch places for reasons. I don't remember why, but it's during the holidays obviously, and they both fall in love with dudes at the sister's workplace. And the guys are like, whoa, you're kind of different. It's like, well, yeah, that's because they are. So anyway, it was fine. I give it 3.5 stars, but I swear there's a Hallmark movie with Candace Cameron Bure, I don't know how to say her last name, where she plays the twins in that film and they switch places. So I think that's like the exact same thing. So, but like different plots, but like the same plot, if that makes any sense at all. So it was fine. It was cute. It was like a good holiday romance to get you in the holiday spirit. So like if you want to read it, you may. Obviously, it's your choice. But I just didn't think it was the best. It was just one of the ones that was very mediocre. And then we've got A Christmas Spark by Cindy Steele, and this one was a shorter holiday novella. They're snowed in together. The guy and the girl, they are double booked at this cabin. The brother to the girl is this guy's best friend, and so he double books them on accident, and they are snowed in together, so they spend the holidays together, and it was really cute. And I like snowed in situations where it keeps it closed door, which is awesome. I love that authors can do that because it's a really fun trope when they have to stay together even though they don't like each other. But just a warning real fast, Sydney Steele gives her characters really unflattering nicknames for some strange reason. I don't know why, but they're terrible. This one in particular is the worst one out of all the nicknames that a guy can give a woman. It is awful. I won't say what it is. You guys can get that little surprise when you read it, if you read it. But it's terrible. It's disgusting, and I hate it. But it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the book, so that was good. But it could for you, so just a heads up that his nickname, overlook it. Just overlook it, because it's purely terrible. It's terrible. Then we've got All's Fair in Love and Christmas by Sarah Monson. And this one is a Christian romance. It's a workplace romance. These two people, they have to do some holiday stuff within their workplace, and whoever does better gets the promotion. So kind of rivals, but they like are friends at the same time. They're not like enemies, I don't think. It was okay. It was not the best. It's just in that same vein of very mediocre holiday romances, which I feel like I fell into a lot of that last year, where every book after the other Christmas romance was just like all the same, just very basic, mediocre, and I hated it. So this year's doing a lot better. I've read a ton of books this year that I have really enjoyed holiday romance-wise. So that's great. Okay, now I'm going to mention a couple of the arcs that I have right now and some that are releasing within the next couple of weeks. So we've got 12 Days of Mistletoe, which actually just came out this last week by Jen Atkinson. And this one, I just haven't finished it yet, so I feel really bad, but it's really sweet. I'm enjoying it so far. It feels like a 4-star caliber. It's fake dating, obviously. Most of these are that. And they're neighbors. He's like in 3A and she's like in 4A, so they're like apartment neighbors up and down. But they fake date. There's a meddling grandma. Super cute. I am enjoying it right now. So, and it's already out, so if you want to read it, you may now. So that's great. Then I have on here Presley's Christmas Catch. This one comes out in the next couple weeks. I have not started it yet, but it is a football romance, best friends to lovers. He friends on her, but regrets it. It's part of a series, the LA Rays series, so it's like a football team of dudes. And then we've got Mistletoe by Marie Loyal. This one has actually been out for a couple of weeks. I just haven't gotten to it yet. It is a novella, so it is shorter, but it's a workplace romance, rivals to lovers, no third act breakup, retired hockey player. Yeah, so I have not gotten to that one yet, but I hope to. It's shorter, but yeah. And then we've got Since We've No Place to Go by Kate Watson, and I have not gotten to this one yet either, but this one doesn't come out until next week, I think. And this one is a baseball romance. They're enemies to lovers, workplace romance. They're forced to work together. He is obviously a professional baseball player, and she is a baseball newscaster, I think, so they get together on a project, so they have to work together. Sounds super fun. All of these covers are so cute. It just gets me into the holiday spirit, and I love it. But yeah, I think that is all the book recommendations. But earlier in my video, I said that I would talk about a Hallmark movie that I recently watched. So if you don't like Hallmark, you can end the video here if you'd like. But, well, actually, no. Don't end it, because if you don't like Hallmark, you might like this one. Just bear with me, all right? So last week, I think, is when I first watched it. But last week I saw on somebody's Bookstagram story that this was like the best Hallmark movie ever, and her jaw was on the floor is what she'd said. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. Because some Hallmarks, you know how they all go. They have the same plot where big city girl comes back to small town. There's a small town guy and they fall in love, whatever. And this one was not that. This was not that. It has its own plot, and it was so good. So the title of this film is A Biltmore Christmas. And it was so good. It is the best Hallmark movie, Christmas, all of it, ever, that I've ever seen. And I loved it. I loved it. If I could give it 5 stars as a film, I would, because it was so good. If it was a book, I would read it as well every year. It was so good. And little thing here real fast. Since I watched it last week, I've probably watched it every day since then. And I have recommended it to my parents and my sisters. And they have also all watched it more than once since I introduced it to them last week. So if that doesn't tell you anything, this movie was so good. It's got Bethany Joy Lenz in it, and she is one of the main characters in the One Tree Hill TV series, if any of you have seen that. But yeah, it was so cute. It was so cute. And I won't even tell you anything about it, just go in blind. It was just my favorite Hallmark movie of all time. of all time. I was really impressed, and I can say the same thing as that bookstagrammer that I saw. I don't remember her name, unfortunately. My jaw was on the floor. It was produced well. The actors can actually act. Especially since Bethany Joy Lentz, she has acting experience. Obviously, she was on One Tree Hill for over a decade. And I love her. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. Anyway, highly recommend it. Highly recommend. If you don't watch any Hallmark, just give this one a chance. I promise you, you'll probably like it. It was so, so cute. But yeah, that is all. I think that is all the books that I will be recommending. I hope to get to the ones that I haven't read within this year, and if not, next year. But let me know if you've read any of the ones that I mentioned that I have not read, and if you think they're good. That would be great to get that feedback. I'm so excited for the holidays, and we still have a whole another month of reading Christmas books, so get to reading. So that is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.